What's going on, everybody? My name is Aiden and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to be discussing some more individuals leaving the Chicago Bulls. Now, again, this is going to be big news for the Bulls. Some people might not necessarily care about this, but it is going to be big news. And whether we like it or not, there's going to be some big changes that happen for the Bulls in the near future. Some people think it's going to be warranted and necessary. Other people will see this as, maybe we shouldn't be doing change and stuff like that. Regardless, it's going to be forced at this point. Forced changes are going to have to happen. So we're going to get started with this one in this video. But before we get any further, if you liked the video and you want to see more from me, drop a like, drop a follow, and or subscribe if you are new. And let me know in the comments below your thoughts about this individual and whether or not you think it's the right idea for this individual to leave the Bulls and stuff of that nature. Is this going to be a big loss for the Bulls? Now, this is according to Casey Johnson, and it reads as follows. The Chicago Bulls, or the Bulls, and Chip Schaefer have parted ways per sources. Schaefer, the head athletic trainer during the Dynasty days, returned to the organization as a director of performance health in 2016. Schaefer, who also worked for Phil Jackson with the Lakers, is widely respected around the league. So, ladies and gentlemen, essentially, our director of health has left the Chicago Bulls. He's been around the Bulls for a long time. Obviously did leave at some point to go and join the Lakers. Regardless of that fact, he is going to be leaving the Bulls once again. Before we get any further, of course, we have to wish this individual, all the best in whatever he pursues in the future, whether or not he goes to another team and does a similar role, whether or not he doesn't do, become a director of health somewhere else, or whatever he's going to be doing. We wish him the best. It's as simple as that. Always individual before what it really means. But this does mean big things for the Bulls. It absolutely does. As I mentioned earlier on in the video, this essentially forces change because you're going to need a director of health in your team. And I think it's really as simple as that. We do have more updates in that regard. And again, this is from Casey Johnson. It says head athletic trainer Todd Campbell is serving as interim director of performance health per sources. Departments are under evaluation by managements. So there you go. It looks like, again, evaluation, looking for changes that we can make, stuff of that nature, evaluating whether or not the changes that they do make will be the right ones, stuff of that nature. A lot of things that we won't necessarily understand. And here's a big reason why I think this could be a big deal for the Bulls. The part where it says well respected around the league. That to me is a big deal. Because that means it's not just the Bulls organization that respects this individual. It means that a lot of other teams do. And having that individual leave the Bulls and having that reputation go alongside of it is going to be a big deal for a lot of people. And it's going to be a big deal for the Bulls as well. Look, we could say whatever we like as fans. We could say this is a good thing because of all the injuries that has been sustained over the past 3 seasons. And maybe it could be a good thing. I have no idea. But we don't know anywhere near as much as the league and the people in the league would know about directors of health and people of that nature. So when I hear and when I see well respected around the league, I think it's a pretty big deal. Again, he worked for us in the Dynasty era. He joined Phil Jackson and the Lakers. So he's been around. And again, it's something to take into consideration. There's also another thing that I think this could be a big deal for. Some people will say, well, look, he's been here for a while. Maybe we need an upgrade in that department. But the health department, I don't consider something like a sports, player or a sports team where you have to rebuild and go younger and try to modernize things and stuff of that nature. I think modernization is important, don't get me wrong. But I think experience in the health department is actually very, very vital. And it's not the same as, oh, let's go younger so we could go build a championship. You can't look at it from directly a sports mindset. There's a lot more that goes into it. But in saying that, look, our record speaks for itself. We've had a lot of injuries over the past couple of years. We have. And although you could see this as a good thing, this is more, in my opinion at least, a deep dive into the unknown, because I don't necessarily know if any replacement that we are going to find is going to actually be a sustainable upgrade. And I don't think one person leaving is going to make the world of difference for the Bulls. So if we're going to change areas of our health department, I don't see that as a necessarily bad thing, but I would consider it a risk. I would consider it a risk and a dive into the deep end that we truly won't know the outcome for. And that scares me a little bit, but it could be a necessity. I think all areas in our organization needs to change. I really think it's as simple as that. I think there's a lot of areas in our department that isn't really modern, isn't modern at all compared to other teams. So we need to look at that. We need to look at how other teams run things. We need to look at how the best teams in the NBA today run things and try to see if we can find replicas and duplicate those things, or maybe even improve upon those things. That could be in the health department section, that could be in the NBA, the player section, that could be in the coaching section, that could be in the front office section. It could be just decision making in general. There's so many things that you can try to modernize in this day's NBA. And I think the Bulls definitely need a little bit of that. And I think it's well warranted. But that doesn't necessarily mean that everybody has to go. And it doesn't necessarily mean that just because one person leaves, this is great news or anything of that nature. Because we just don't know. I don't know this person. I don't know his health background. I don't know how much he helps the Bulls. These Bulls players might be thinking, dang, probably the best person for the health department is leaving. How am I supposed to know? But that's something that I'm always going to be fearful of. So we'll see how this, I guess, evaluation is going to go. We'll see whether or not the decisions that they make will be the right ones. And ultimately, next season, you'll probably know a lot based on the injuries that we sustain, you know. There's going to be a lot of changes, but you're expecting a somewhat healthy team coming into next season. But, of course, a select few people. So with that being said, whatever injuries we may sustain, some of that could be on the health department, and some of it maybe won't be. We'll have to wait and see. But it is big news, and we'll see if there's any upgrades or any additions, I guess you could say, in the near future. Thank you guys for watching. Drop a like and a follow, and or subscribe if you are new. Again, this is a video that many people might not necessarily see as a big deal. There's going to be a lot of people that will look at this and think one way or another. The truth of the matter is, as long as we're fans, if anyone actually works for the Bulls, they will have much more intel on this than us. They'll be either upset or they'll look to find a replacement feeling confident that they can get one. It's one or the other. So as much as we could feel something about this, we don't know the whole story. We probably never will know the whole story about that. So without further ado, have a wonderful and safe day. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay tuned for more. Take care, and peace.